Alright, so this is a new video I'm doing, T-scussions, and the first topic today is the price of gaming. And our first thing we're going to talk about on this topic is games that launch at $60. Should it be higher and should it be lower? So I have Choka with me, who's been around for Two Idiots Play. Say hi, Choka.
Hi, Choka.
And then we have Eats, who we had join us for Menage a Trois, which is on hiatus right now. Say hi, Eats.
Hi.
Okay, so the premise is that games usually release nowadays for about $60, but slowly rising, especially when you have things like special editions, gold editions, deluxe, all these other shits. So should we just raise the price of base games, or do we need to keep them the same? Eats, let's get your take on it.
I think we should keep them the same.
And why is that?
Because look at the price like Grand Theft Auto 5. They're still charging fucking $50 for that. It's been out for 10 years. They're getting plenty of money off games they've already released.
Alright. Choka, how do you feel about it?
I think they should stay the same. I think it's fine where it's at. Because it's been $60 for at least as long as I've been playing games or buying games. And I'm like kind of glad they're not ripping us off, because they could realistically raise it to whatever they want to and people would probably pay it.
Alright,
and I'm glad they're not taking advantage of that.
I get you. So now I'm going to be the contrarian. I believe they should raise it. Honestly, it has been 60 forever, even since the NES days. And if you count for inflation, you know, it's not like a pure 60. I guess, you know, 60 goes for less now than it did back then. That being said, it stayed the same, and games have gotten a lot more expensive to create over the years, especially with these graphics, playing with the new systems, getting everyone to code, getting everyone to do music. So it's a lot more intensive process. So I believe it does need a raise to change with the times. Now, I will concede, because back in the day, gaming, you know, NES and all that, was kind of a niche thing you could do. Not everyone was a gamer. Nowadays, everyone plays the game. So, yeah, even though it's 60 now, like it was back then, you have a much larger market share you can tap into now, especially with the rise of mobile games, getting everyone to, you know, get on, to try their luck in game, I guess, for the first time, and then eventually move on to consoles. So what do y'all think about that?
I think that's a good point. There is more people buying into shit than there used to be. A lot more people play games now. But people play games for longer, too, so...
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I mean, because when you think about it, let's think of the other media that we have, TV and movies. Or let's say movies specifically. You go to a theater, you pay what, $16, maybe $8, wherever you're staying at, and that's not including the, you know, we'll say $8 to $10, not including the food. You're gonna get 2 hours of entertainment for $10, or you could buy the movie when it comes out on DVD, which is usually what, $20 to $30. Who buys movies anymore? Do you guys buy movies?
I buy digital copies of movies on like Amazon or like my Google account, especially for the movies that usually aren't on streaming platforms very often. I'll pay for the movie just so I have a copy of it, but I have to really like the movie to do that.
And how much is it? Because I haven't bought a movie in so fucking long.
It depends. I think the last one I bought was like $15.
Okay, so $15. I remember when I was a bit younger and I was buying movies, it was about $20. So, you know, $20 for like 2-3 hours. And when I say 3 hours, there's a few movies that are 3 hours. So 3 hours entertainment max, and you're making that $15 or $20, you know, last that long. Or you could play a video game for $80 and you have like so many hours of entertainment. I mean, hell, I bought Fire Emblem. I'm going to use this as an example. Fire Emblem Three Houses. I put 200 hours into that game. I know life the fucking shit out of that game. I paid $60, and that's not including the DLC. So I got a lot more value than a movie. So I think when you compare things to another medium like movies, it puts gaming into a different perspective, which is why I think we should raise it. Because, like I said, it's just been more expensive to develop games now, and we're already seeing some of the issues of game developers having to do other practices just to make up for some potential, I wouldn't say lost revenue, but I guess the potential that's not really there. I'm not really sure how to word it. What do you think?
I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I think my point was just I'm glad they haven't raised it, even though they absolutely could, and people would still pay for it.
So you're talking about from the consumer standpoint, or
Correct, yes.
you're just glad you're not paying. No, and I get that
Yes.
too. You don't want to fuck over your consumers, but I think it's been 60 for a very. I mean, it's been 60 hell since the GameCube days. I was actually looking this up earlier. Like I was saying, even the NES, some games, some of the higher end games are $60. And again, with inflation, that's not totally the same, but they've kept the same price, even though we have things like. And I'm not even talking about the current inflation, from the pandemic and everything like that, but just normal inflation over the past, 10, 20, 30 years. That $60 doesn't go the same way, but again, you have a bigger market share. So it's kind of hard to say either way, but I do think they should raise it. But the problem I have with raising it is I say this: if you are going to raise it, that should be it. That should be the full game. Don't hold back packs. Don't hold back DLC. No day one disc DLC bullshit. And the problem is, especially when you have something like EA, you have these greedy developers, and I wouldn't even say developers. Let's just say the actual corporations. That even if you did raise the price and it became acceptable, they're still going to milk us for money. So, what was you saying, Eats?
I was sorry for trying to interrupt there, but they already have that. You could buy the deluxe edition of the game for $100 that comes with everything.
Yeah, and they're still going to nickel and dime you later on. And that's the problem I'm having. It's like, I would love it if we could just pay an extra 10 or 20 more dollars and not have to worry about microtransaction bullshit. I want to use Halo Infinite for an example. So that game is weird the way it's priced. So the multiplayer itself is free, but the campaign costs $60. But you buy the campaign's kind of fun, but it's not like, you're not going to get the same enjoyability out of it as you would any other like $60 game. It's just the campaign. Because anyone could get the multiplayers, you're not paying for that. The way the multiplayer funds itself is with these fucking armor packs. And they nickel and dime people. I wouldn't say nickel and dime. They fucking take 10 and 20 bucks here and there just for shitty armor pieces to sustain themselves. And yet they're still charging $60 for the campaign. Now granted, you could use Game Pass and have access to everything for free, but why even do that if you're just gonna charge people out the ass anyways? So what's the most so besides $50 or $60 games, how about everyone talk about a game that they've either paid more or less for and they thought it was a good price? Choke or Eats, we'll start with you again.
I bought the deluxe edition of Red Dead 2, and I think that was $99, and they still haven't released shit for it, but I still think it was worth it. I was more than happy to pay that because I got 600 hours out of that game before I was bored with it. Damn. And I feel like that was a good, yeah.
Damn, what all did it come with? Because I got Red Dead 2, the regular edition. What did the Super Edition come with?
I think I got an extra horse and
oh no,
an extra mission. I got a bank robbery.
Well, as long as you believe it was a good enough price. Choke, what about you?
I feel like.
Hold on, I wanna hear him continue to defend himself.
Shut up. I like cowboys, man. Shut the fuck up. I just feel like a game that's that polished and that complete at release, because I played it from day one, deserves a price like that. But people who pre-ordered Cyberpunk, and then got it taken away from them because it was awful, should not have been a $60 game.
Oh yeah, that was my point. We should charge more, but the game should be complete. Anyways, Choka, let's talk about you. What is a game that you buy either over or under $60 for that you were satisfied with in a video game?
I've been playing a lot of Escape from Tarkov lately, and I bought the big version, and I think that came out at the time when I bought it. It was about $120, and I just checked the other day. I'm like 280 hours into that game, and I still can't stop playing it.
I'm aware because you don't want to play with me anymore.
Yep.
Damn. He was quick on that. So for me, I believe, and I've been autistic about this game, is Dragon Ball: The Breakers. This game came out for $20, and I figured that game was going to be broken beyond all hell. No, it was actually pretty good for $20. A few glitches here and there, but better than most other AAA games that have been coming out. And the way they sustain themselves is with these various other packs and I guess abilities you can buy with their own little in-game currency. But I believe $20 was a pretty good price because you're still able to do everything, and you can even earn a lot of that currency even though you only pay $20. And that's the thing I think is fair. If you're not gonna charge the full $60, Or if you're going to charge under the 60, you know, I don't mind if you do like microtransactions here or there. And I know, again, I was talking about Halo Infinite. Well, our multiplayer is free, but you're still charging 60 for the fucking campaign. So, no, you can't call yourself a fucking free-to-play game. Let's look at Fortnite, for example. So Fortnite had their campaign. I believe it was $20. I believe I have it. Choka, you have it. And you know what you could do in that campaign? You could get the Fortnite bucks. And the Fortnite bucks from playing the campaign could pay for battle passes. So the campaign would technically pay for itself in the multiplayer aspect. So even though the multiplayer is free to play, if you played the campaign, you would get extra tokens to use in the multiplayer, even though that multiplayer was free to play. And I think that was a good system.
Yeah, no, that's all I got. I can agree with that.
Okay.
And I think that's a good transition. So I want to talk about, so we're talking about the price of gaming and the way that games monetize now and what they do. I don't know if Fortnite was the first, but I know they definitely popularized it, is the Battle Pass system. For anyone that's not aware, has been living under a rock, Battle Passes are generally a seasonal thing. You pay a couple of dollars, maybe $10 here, and you unlock extra rewards for your character, maybe in-game currency, maybe costumes, whatever. And then after a couple of months or whatever period goes by, you can't get that stuff anymore. They might sell it individually later on, but then they have a new battle pass. And to get through the battle pass, you have to play the game, sometimes do challenges. And Fortnite, again, I don't know if they started, but they definitely popularized it, and other games have followed. I know Smite followed, Halo MCC followed, and theirs is a little bit different. Halo Infinite did it on top of the fucking money they want to get from you. Dragon Ball did it. I honestly cannot think of an online game that's not doing battle passes right now. I don't think I have played any in the past 2 years that don't have a battle pass system to them. So, what do you think of the battle passes? Starting with you, Eats.
I'm probably a bad person for that because I don't play a lot of online games unless I'm goofing off with my friends. But I think spending money to unlock something, whereas like the OG Reach, where you unlock the stuff just by playing the game instead of having to pay money and play the game on top of the initial game price, is stupid.
So what you're saying is, I'm kind of reaching a little bit because you didn't say this necessarily, but it was kind of in your answer. So you just don't like battle passes for games you already had to pay full price for.
Yeah, but like I understand it, like you said with Fortnite, where the online's free. But like going back to Halo Infinite, I feel like we're shitting on it a lot, but it kind of deserves it.
It fucking deserves it. Let's be real. I mean, they fucked that game so hard. And honestly, it didn't have to be fucked so hard, but they spent... I'm going to get off on a tangent here. I'm going to have to stop. But go on, Eats. Finish your thought.
Like, if I pay full price for a game, I was okay with the progression system in the OG Halo Reach, or fuck even early Halo 4, where you play online, you level up based on how you do in matches, and that's how you unlock new armor. Or even going back to Halo 3, like recon and things like that, you had to actually, do things to earn that stuff. And then with the Battle Pass, I feel like it kind of cheaps out on that, and whoever has the money to pay for that can do it. And like, I already paid for the game. I don't want to spend more money on it.
So when you say use the money, are you talking about people who buy battle pass tiers? Because I know a lot of games let you do that. Are you talking about people who those fucking people are awful. Anyways, Choke, let's hear your answer on this.
I don't hate battle passes. I don't really any opportunity to get additional content, especially in a game that I enjoy, like Smite. Usually, if it has content that I like, I will buy the battle pass, and I did just pay for the whole thing without playing through it.
Did so it was a one-time thing. It was one and done. You never did it again.
Nope.
No,
they put a couple contents in there that I really liked, and I didn't play the game enough.
Oh, so you did it a couple of times. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Would
yeah.
you have preferred to be able to unlock that by just playing the game normally?
Well, I did also unlock other things by playing the game normally. Like, it's just another a parallel avenue that you can take at the same time, which doesn't bother me at all.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah, so I guess I'll talk about mine. I like and hate the battle passes at the same time, because one, a lot of these are are time sensitive, so you do have to get them within a certain amount of time, and it's a way for the game developers to basically get people fear of missing out. And it's like, oh, if you don't do this soon, you're gonna miss it, but if you give us extra money, you can unlock it. I think that's a little bit. I think it's a little bit predatory, but
it worked on me. It worked on me a couple times. Yeah, 100%.
I think it's kind of fair. It's like, well, because if a game's been out for so many years, and you still want them to make money off of it, because I don't know how game development and servers work, but I assume it costs money to fucking run servers and things like that for online games. So if no one's buying the game anymore, eventually it's going to get to the point where it's just not going to be profitable to keep the game updated or at least keep it stabilized. So I like the idea of battle passes. But the problem is a lot of these battle passes, again, talking about the fear of missing out, they make them extremely grindy, where you have to constantly play the game to get the stuff, which I didn't mind it with Fortnite. It was just one game, and then every fucking game after Fortnite started doing it. And it's like, well, you got like 5 multiplayer games, they all have battle passes, and basically, like, oh, you need to play all these all the time now to get everything you want, otherwise you're going to miss out. So eventually you'll just drop a game because you're like, all right, well, I can't do this battle pass anymore. Then you'll play a game way too much to get all the stuff because they want to hold back XP like a motherfucker, and you get burned out on it. It's one of the main reasons why I quit Smite. I fucking love Smite, and actually that game was free to play, and that had a different monetization method where you can buy gods and things like that, but then they implemented battle passes, and I enjoyed it at first. Like, oh, it gives me more of a reason to play, because honestly, after a while, you stop unlocking shit in Smite. I mean, you get the shitty little in-game currency, not the ones you can purchase, but I forget what they were called, like worshippers or whatever. No, not worshippers. Favor. Yeah, you get favor, but that wasn't jack shit. You wanted gems, and that was the premium currency. But you play the game forever, and the only thing you're going to get is maybe unlock the ability to buy a diamond skin. You don't even unlock the skin. So it actually gave you more of a reason to play, because the game's actual progression kind of capped out at 30. Or at least at the time, and then they raised it, but, playing the game doesn't matter. And going back to MCC actually added a battle pass system. Now, MCC is a $60 game, and with extra add-ons, you can, like ODST, you can buy, like, 1 or 2 more things. But their battle pass is free, and not only is it free, it's not time-gated. So if another battle pass comes out, you can still use your points and buy stuff from the previous battle pass. So they're not trying to get you with a fear of missing out. They did theirs very fair, and I believe they're probably missing out on a lot of money because, my God, I can't believe how much effort they've been putting into that game over the years. They're still updating it. Then you look at, again, Halo Infinite, where they would give you some shitty challenges to do. Like, oh, kill an enemy with the plasma carbine, or whatever the fuck it was called. That weapon is impossible to get a kill with, so what you would do is you'd re-roll the challenge. How do you re-roll the challenge? Well, you can unlock these challenge re-rolls, or you could buy the re-rolls. So you could buy the tiers, or you could buy the re-rolls, which was a pretty shitty system. But yeah, so you have all these games that are time gating the battle passes, and yeah, when everyone does it, it fucking ruins it. And I liked it at first with Fortnite, but then now everyone copied after them, and their battle passes aren't even nearly as good, or some of them aren't. Some do okay. Yeah, Breakers had a battle pass, and that one came with the fucking game. Again, $20. So let's talk about free-to-play games, and I guess pay-to-win, I guess, is the next transition. And I want to go first on this topic. So one game that's free-to-play but pays to win, and I think is fair, is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Because if you play Yu-Gi-Oh! In real life, it's pay to win. Yeah, you could buy your cards and open up random packs, or you can go online, which is what everyone does, pay $100, $200, I don't know what the prices are anymore, $70, $50, and you get the cards you want to make a deck. In Master Duel, you craft the shit, and they'll give you a lot of crafting materials, or you can, buy gems to buy packs, and then just dismantle the cards you don't need. And again, the game's pay to win, but it's like it is in real life, so it's not like it's changing the dynamic of it. And actually, they're very generous with the gems they give you, too. So even if you don't put any actual money into the game, you'll be able to get a lot of gems just from playing it, and you can actually use it to make decent decks. And then you got people still crying like, "Oh, they should give us 8,000 gems." Like, no, motherfucker, no, they don't. 2,000 can make you a decent deck. And we're gonna go backwards on this. We've been starting with Eats, and we start with me on this one. So Choka, you're gonna go second again. You're just always number 2.
That works.
Sure is.
I agree with how you feel about the Master Duel thing. I think they did a really good job, especially handing out the premium currency, and it it eases the hit on when you're up against someone who obviously just dumped hundreds of dollars into the game or whatever, because that's what you would run into in real life, to a degree. I don't like, especially mobile games that are advertised as free to play, and then you just have to pump literally hundreds of dollars to do anything past the first 20 minutes or so. I feel like that's it takes that whole predatory thing that you brought up with the
Battle Pass
and the fear of missing out, yeah. And it just elevates it fucking tenfold, and that's gross. I mean, I'm sure it makes them a lot of money, but it just makes it not fun to play.
Oh, absolutely. And again, with Yu-Gi-Oh, granted I took a break from it, and they also have a Battle Pass. But I'm having fun in that game. It doesn't feel unfair. I think I like the system. I like how they do it compared to what other companies do. So, Eats, how do you feel about free-to-play games and their monetary systems, how they make money?
I feel like free-to-play games, if they have, ads or whatever, obviously you're going to be able to buy stuff to do things like, get rid of ads, or I'm thinking like mobile here, because most free-to-play games on like the Xbox or PC don't have ads, obviously. But I feel like if you have one way to gain monetary value from it, you shouldn't be too overbearing on your other ones. So if you have ads, your battle pass or whatever should be cheaper, or vice versa, things like that. But also, free-to-play games are kind of a scam, because it is just a way to get you to spend more money without realizing it, in my opinion.
Oh, I get that absolutely. You said ads, and you talked about there's no ads in consoles. This is something I believe that game developers should be doing. I believe they should be putting ads into their games to help subsidize it. Even if you pay $60 for it, because we have these stupid-ass loading tips. You're loading into a game, and at the bottom you get your tool text and says, press A to jump. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Thanks for teaching me how to be a master gamer. Or you could just put fucking I'm loving it at the bottom there. I mean, I'm sure McDonald's would pay money for that shit. It's not really intrusive, but again, the problem is you'd have companies like EA that probably intentionally increase their loading times just to keep you looking at that ad longer. I was playing years ago Phantasy Star Online 2, and they have little TVs around the area which plays like concerts, and it'll play the trailer on repeat fucking indefinitely. But when the Sonic movie, the first one, came out, they actually would put up trailers for the Sonic movie on there. And I was thinking, I'm like, damn, they could put actual advertisements, because people hang out in these fucking lobbies all the time, because this was like an MMO game. So people hang out and they chat in the lobbies. Just put a fucking advertisement there, like where people would hang out. Maybe maybe not make it so intrusive, but just have it on the screen, and if they get close enough, they can listen to it. They feel like. You brought up a really good point that I almost completely forgot about. But you believe free to play is a scam in general, which it kind of is. But I think with Yu-Gi-Oh, they did a good job. There's a couple games that did a good job. Smite did a good job. Honestly, there's probably more predatory ones I can name than ones I can name that were good. But there's some good ones out there. So I'm not saying they're all bad. But
I'm not saying they're all bad either. I'm just saying that 90% of the time.
That's basically saying they're all bad. So we're at the end of this discussion. Is there anything anyone else wants to bring up before we get into our closings?
I mean, if we haven't talked about microtransactions in gaming specifically, not being attached to a battle pass or an advertisement kind of thing, then no, I guess. No, microtransactions by themselves in a game, I feel like, are their own thing, but yeah, I feel like we kind of touched on them from all of the other angles instead of them specifically, and there's been enough said about them.
God, actually, no, there hasn't been enough. You're right, though. We didn't touch on it specifically, because I think a good point we missed out, and again, we're past our time that we allotted. But the idea of premium currencies, we've talked about it here or there. The fucking premium currencies, man, these things are killing me. You go to any store, and instead of offering like DLC and shit like that, again, you and I are playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and if you go to the store, they got their packs, and then you can buy the fucking TP tokens. That's a whole can of worms I don't want to get into. Honestly, there's not much to say other than me just ranting and saying I fucking hate it. But no, you did bring up a good point. We kind of skipped over that topic. Eats, what do you have? Any closing things you want to talk about, or anything you want to bring up?
I feel like we ventured away from the original plot of this.
No, that was the point.
Recharging.
No, that was the point. So we were going to talk about three things. The first, it was just going to be three topics in an overarching discussion.
No, I get that, but I do want to bring up the fact that like they're charging $60 for games that came out almost 10 fucking years ago, namely Grand Theft Auto 5. Still $50. You go into Walmart and try to buy it, it's $50. You go on the Xbox Game Store, try to buy it, it's still $50, and it's been 10 years.
I think that's like a mini discussion in of itself. You bring up a good point.
Like I'm saying, why should we be increasing, say, Rockstar? Why should they need to increase that when they're still charging the same amount for the game 10 years later? Like, that's some fat bullshit.
I get what you're saying. So I guess you got passionate. I guess I should clarify. So when I say the price of a game, I'm specifically referring to new games, not remakes or remasters, because pricing on those is kind of difficult.
But the thing is, it's not even a fucking remaster.
I know it's just a port. It's just a fucking port. They're not really adding new shit to it.
Give them a fucking aneurysm if you keep talking about it.
I mean,
sorry.
I'm a Nintendo fan, so
me off.
I'm a Nintendo fan, so this subject hits closer to home than you realize because they do this shit all the
Smash
time.
Bros. Brawl for the Wii is still $60. I get you.
Well, no, they don't. Yeah, because they will refuse to put anything on sale. But fucking, they'll sell you back Mario 64 on the Wii or Wii U, or they don't sell it on this. Well, they did. It was $60 fucking, but they gave you 3 games. So it's like, well, is that fair price? And that's actually more of a debate in of itself, because that's kind of harder to gauge. And I know what you're just talking about, them straight porting GTA 5 over. But yeah, no, companies do this all the time. They'll still charge like $60 fucking. I don't understand it. It's like, what more effort are you putting into the game to charge that much? Again, I'm not a game developer, but I'm assuming most of it's just fucking copy paste, just make sure everything runs with the new engine. And then tweaking some things here and there. It's not like you're building the shit from scratch. And if you have to rebuild the game from scratch because you couldn't switch it over, make a new fucking game. Like, remake the game. Yeah. Don't just fucking port it over for new skin. Look what they did to, you said GTA, but look what they did with the GTA trilogy. They fucked that game up. And they used ports from the mobile ports. They didn't actually use, like, the original PS2 and all that shit. They took the mobile ports and fucking redid those, which were inferior ports. But no, Rockstar. I was ragging on EA, but no, Rockstar needs to get taken down a peg.
And the no DLC for Red Dead Redemption, when very easily should have had DLC to match the OG Red Dead.
Eats. You're not understanding. If you, this was your fault, because if you didn't buy like $500 worth of Red Dead Gold, obviously they weren't going to support the game, alright? If every player didn't chip in $500 for Red Dead Gold, it was our fault, alright? How's Rockstar to blame when we didn't give them enough money? But everyone still gives them shark cards, so that's why it's our fault, not theirs, okay? We can't forget that. Shark cards are the future.
Hey, I know we're supposed to be done with the discussion, but you got me fucking heated now.
I like it.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, listen to both your final thoughts. Yeah, we definitely missed some points. This was not as organized as I thought, but we definitely went. I thought we was gonna struggle to get to our 20 minutes. We're past our 20 minutes by a good chunk. So in summary, I believe they should be raised. I hate the way that the gaming landscape is with its monetization. Most of it, especially the free-to-play ones, go way too far, and there's better systems. There's proven better systems for free-to-play like Yu-Gi-Oh, or you can go half and half like Dragon Ball Breakers, or you could try a new different way of monetization like Eats brought up with advertising. Choka, it's fair to say that you believe for the you're on the consumer side where we shouldn't raise everything. And Eats, you just hate Rockstar. That was my of this entire discussion. That is the one thing I remember. I don't remember anything else you said because your fiery speech about how Rockstar should burn in hell. I think that might change some hearts and minds in the world. But all right,
I sure hope so.
All right, well that is the end of our first T-scussions video. Thank you for watching.